I want to start today's deep dive with a number. It's a, it's a specific figure that when I first read it in the research packet, honestly, it made me want to just close my laptop and rethink my entire career path. $32,000.
Wow. Okay, that's a significant number.
Right.
I mean, that's a down payment on a house in some places. It's
Yeah.
a very nice car. It's like a year of college tuition.
You would think we were talking about a salary negotiation or, some huge corporate contract, but no. That is the amount of money paid to a dog.
Dog.
A specific dog for exactly 2 Facebook posts, 1 Instagram photo, and a single tweet.
You have to be kidding me. That can't be real.
I wish I was kidding. If you do the math, it works out to something like $10,000 per minute of work and the dog's job description. Sit, roll over, look cute.
Maybe smile if the lighting is right.
Maybe smile if the lighting is right. It sounds absolutely absurd on the surface. It's almost like offensive to anyone who works a 9-to-5 job.
It really is. But I have a feeling that number is important. It highlights the absurdity, yes, but also the massive financial reality of this whole world.
That's it, exactly. That anecdote, and it comes right at the start of our source material today, is the perfect key to unlocking this entire industry. It tells you exactly how high the stakes are. We aren't talking about pocket change anymore. We're in an economy where a canine can out-earn a corporate lawyer in an afternoon.
Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly. What's the source we're digging into?
We are diving deep into Influencer, Building Your Personal Brand in the Age of Social Media by Brittany Hennessy. And before you or anyone listening rolls their eyes at the word influencer, you really need to know who Brittany Hennessy is. She's just someone who got famous for posting pretty selfies.
Right, this is a crucial distinction. She's a gatekeeper. She is, or was, the senior director of influencer strategy at Hearst Magazine's digital media.
So she's the one at Cosmopolitan, Esquire, Harper's Bazaar.
All of them. She is the person sitting on the other side of the table. She's the one writing the checks. So she's cast campaigns for basically every major brand you can possibly think of.
Which means when she talks about why that dog got 32 grand, she's not guessing. She's explaining the why from the business side. She's explaining the ROI, the return on investment.
Exactly.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to try to decode the art and science of this industry. We have to move past the easy dismissal, the idea that this is just narcissism or a fun little hobby, and treat it like the fierce, competitive startup economy it actually is.
So whether you want to be the next big thing or you're just trying to figure out why your niece is obsessed with lighting her latte from a 45-degree angle, this is about understanding the business mechanics behind the feed.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Definitions. The word influencer gets thrown around so much it's almost lost its meaning. Feels like a dirty word in some circles. How does Hennessy actually define it in a business context?
Well, she strips away all the glamour and just focuses on the function. To her, an influencer is simply someone with social currency.
Social currency.
Yep. And that currency is made up of your followers and your engagement. And that currency has to be strong enough to compel an audience to do 3 things: listen, act, and most importantly for the people paying the bills, buy.
It's marketing. Pure and simple.
It's pure marketing. But she draws a really hard line between 2 types of people who have this currency. She separates celebrities from content creators. And I think this is probably the most important distinction to make right off the bat.
Okay, so break that down. What's the difference?
Think of someone like, say, Gigi Hadid or Selena Gomez. They have millions of followers. They have massive influence. But their fame was born offline.
They're singers, models, actors first.
Exactly. Their Instagram is just an echo of their real-world fame. If Gigi Hadid posts a press release or, I don't know, a blurry photo of her shoes, she gets 1 million likes. She doesn't have to try on social media in the same way. Her influence just migrated there. She could delete her Instagram account tomorrow and she would still be Gigi Hadid.
Versus the content creator.
Who starts at 0? A total unknown. A content creator is building something from absolutely nothing. They don't have a hit movie or a platinum album to fall back on. They have to build trust, brick by brick, post by post. Their entire value proposition is their relationship with the audience.
Which means they're much more vulnerable, right, if things go south?
Oh, absolutely. If a celebrity has a scandal, they might lose an endorsement, but they still have their core talent. They're still a great actor. If a content creator loses the trust of their audience, if they get caught being inauthentic, they lose the entire business.
Everything.
everything.
Oh.
Authenticity isn't just a buzzword for them. It's literally their survival mechanism. They have to use marketing tactics just to get noticed in the first place.
So Hennessy breaks down this landscape of creators into two big camps. And I think it's useful to run through these because it helps you identify what you're actually looking at when you're scrolling through your feed. The first camp is the one we just mentioned, the content creators.
Right. These are the people actively producing like editorial media. You have your classic bloggers and vloggers, the writers and filmmakers. Then you have the experts, think fitness gurus, interior designers, people who actually know a trade and are teaching it online.
And my personal favorite category, where our $32,000 dog lives, the animals, toddlers, inanimate objects, and memes bucket.
Which is a surprisingly lucrative category. And you have to ask why, right? It's because it's brand safe. A dog is never going to tweet something offensive about politics.
Good point.
A toddler isn't going to get caught in a scandal at a nightclub. Brands love that safety. It's predictable.
That makes so much sense. Okay, then you have the second camp, the life casters.
These are the people who aren't necessarily creating editorial content in the sense of writing articles or filming tutorials, but they're documenting a life that exudes what Hennessy calls sheer awesomeness.
Sheer awesomeness. So who falls into this bucket?
Well, there are a few. You've got special talent influencers, chefs, dancers, pro athletes. Their skill is the draw. Then you have entrepreneurs who show the behind-the-scenes grind of building a company. You've got high-end models where the hashtag is usually something like hashtag squad goals.
I've seen that one.
Then there are notables, so activists, politicians, and finally just real people.
Which, I have to say, feels like it's becoming a rarer and rarer category these days. That just regular person with a cool life seems to be shrinking.
I think it is. Because as the industry professionalizes, regular doesn't really cut it anymore. The production value has just gone through the roof. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. But that effortless look now requires a ton of effort.
So, regardless of the category, the big question is, why? I mean, besides the long shot potential for a payday, why are people pouring thousands of hours into this?
Well, the direct career value is a big one. Hennessy talks about casting for things completely unrelated to social media, like a comedy club booking a lineup.
Okay.
Let's say you have two comedians. Comedian A is hilarious, a comedic genius, but has 200 followers. Comedian B is, okay, pretty good, but they have 100,000 followers on Instagram.
The club books comedian B.
Every single time, because Comedian B sells their own tickets. They save the club marketing money. That social currency translates directly into actual, fiat currency for the employer. It's the same for models, actors, even chefs.
So it's no longer enough to just be good at your job.
Yeah.
You have to be good at broadcasting that you're good at your job.
That's it exactly. It's the side hustle that eventually eats the day job. You start by promoting your work, and eventually the promotion becomes the work.
Okay, so let's shift gears. Let's say a listener is thinking, all right, I want in, or maybe just, I want to clean up my digital footprint. Hennessy introduces a concept she calls building the digital house. Where do you even start? What's the foundation?
It starts with something she calls the Google test. This is so simple, and it's something everyone listening should do the moment this deep dive ends. Open an incognito window, so your previous searches don't bias the results, and type in your full name.
And what are you looking for? Or what are you afraid of finding?
You're looking for ownership. Ideally, the entire first page of results should be content that you control. Your website, your LinkedIn, your public social profiles, maybe some press you've generated.
As opposed to what, your arrest record or that embarrassing photo from a college party back in 2009?
Exactly. If you aren't defining who you are on that first page of Google, someone else is. Hennessy's big advice is to set up a Google alert for your own name. You need to know the second you get indexed anywhere, you have to control the narrative before a brand does its due diligence on you.
Speaking of narrative, there's a really funny but painful section about naming conventions. She calls it the Sexy Panda 89 problem.
Oh, yes. This is the difference between being a user and being a brand. Hennessy emphasizes consistency above all else. If your blog is flyfashionista.com, your Instagram handle cannot be sexypanda89.
It just breaks the mental link for the audience, right?
It does, but there's a much deeper, more technical danger here that people don't think about.
Yeah.
Let's say you start out as Sexy Panda, you build a following. Then you realize, okay, I need to be professional, so you change your handle to your real name.
Sounds like a smart move. The right thing to do.
It is, until you realize that every single link on the entire internet that ever pointed to Sexy Panda, every blog mention, every interview, every old tweet is now broken.
Oh, wow.
It leads to a page not found.
Yeah.
You have effectively burned your own resume. You've erased your history.
That is actually terrifying.
It's why she advises picking a handle you can live with forever. Avoid numbers. Avoid underscores if you can. Avoid words that are easy to misspell. If people can't type it, they can't find you.
Okay, so you have her name. In terms of the platforms, she lists the big four: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. But she takes this really strong, almost, I don't know, controversial stance on blogs.
It does feel a bit 2010 to say you must have a blog, doesn't it? I mean, we live in a TikTok world now. Why does she insist on a text-based website?
Exactly. Why not just live on Instagrams, where everyone is?
2 words, rented land.
Rented land.
Social platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's all rented land. You do not own your profile. Mark Zuckerberg owns it. ByteDance owns it. They can change the algorithm tomorrow and wipe out 50% of your reach. They can ban you by mistake. They can go out of business.
R.I.P. Vine.
Exactly. If you build your entire castle on someone else's sand, you are fundamentally vulnerable. Your blog, specifically a self-hosted one, is the only piece of digital real estate you actually own. It is your home base. If Instagram shuts down tomorrow, your blog subscribers are still yours.
And there's a commercial angle to this too, right? Brands actually prefer blogs for technical reasons.
Oh, they love them. Advertisers love data. On a blog, you can install tracking pixels, you can use retargeting cookies, a brand can see exactly how many people clicked a link, how long they stayed, and if they bought the product. On Instagram, especially with just a static photo, the ROI, that return on investment, is much, much harder to prove. A blog post is an evergreen asset. An Instagram post is often gone in 24 hours or just buried in the feed forever.
So rule 1,
Right.
don't neglect the website. But she also warns about the state of that website. She tells this horror story about an influencer who lost a massive campaign because of a page not found error.
Oh, this was brutal. So Hennessy was vetting an influencer for a big job. She goes to the girl's blog. She clicks the little Instagram icon in the sidebar. Broken link. She clicks the Twitter icon.
Oh,
Broken link.
that's a dead end.
Total dead end. And she didn't hire her. And the logic is just so simple. If you cannot manage the basic links on your own About Me page, how can a brand possibly trust you to manage a $50,000 campaign with complex deliverables?
It's a competence test.
It absolutely is. She says the design doesn't need to be super expensive. You don't need a custom coder, but it cannot look like it was created with duct tape and a dream.
Okay, let's move on to the product itself, the content creation. The art of the feed. This is where people get obsessive. What is the #1 mistake people make right out of the gate with just their basic profile?
The profile picture, it's the smallest image on the screen, yet people try to cram a whole masterpiece into it.
So no full body shots, I take it.
Definitely not. Hennessy calls this the pixelated ant effect. If you use a full body shot on a mobile phone, your head is literally the size of a grain of sand. A casting director is scrolling through a list of 100 people. They need to see your face. So face only, shoulders up, smiling, well lit, and no logos.
And the bio. I have to admit, I felt personally attacked by her critique of vague bios. You know, the ones sunset watcher, coffee drinker.
It's charming, but it's useless in a business context. A bio is a billboard. It needs to be functional, creator of blank, city-based. That location data is so crucial for brands looking for people for local events. And this is the big one. Your email address must be visible in the text body of the bio itself.
Wait, okay, but Instagram has a dedicated email button. Why would you waste the character count on typing it out?
Because the email button only works on the mobile app.
Oh, and casting directors are sitting at their desks.
Exactly. Brittany Hennessy is at a desk with a dual monitor setup. If she's looking at your profile on a web browser, that email button doesn't exist. If she has to hunt for your contact info, she won't. She'll just click to the next tab and hire someone else who made it easy.
That is such a practical, tiny detail that it probably costs people thousands and thousands of dollars.
It's all about friction. Your job is to remove every possible point of friction between the brand and your bank account.
Okay, let's talk about the tactics of the post itself. There's a specific etiquette to tagging brands that I hadn't realized was so political.
The bag spill technique. This is really, really smart. Let's say you dump out your makeup bag for a photo. You've got a MAC lipstick, a L'Oreal mascara, a NARS blush.
A whole mix of competitors.
Right. What you should do is tag the brands in the photo itself, the little pop-up tags. But do not list them all out in the caption text.
Well, why not? Isn't the whole goal to get their attention?
It is. But if you are pitching yourself to, say, Maybelline, and your caption is raving about how much you love their direct competitor, L'Oreal, Maybelline sees that text and immediately gets turned off. It's a conflict of interest. But if it's just a silent tag in the photo, it registers with their social media team as engagement and usage without being a loud textual endorsement that alienates all the competition.
That is incredibly sneaky and brilliant. What about the archive button?
The archive button is your best friend. It's your editor. You should use it to curate your feed. If you went through a bad breakup, archive the photos with your ex. If your photography style from 3 years ago was just terrible, archive it. But, and this is a legal warning, you can never archive a sponsored post until the contract period is over.
That's actually a breach of contract.
Oh, absolutely. Brands are paying for a specific duration of visibility. If you hide the ad because it ruins your aesthetic, you might be liable to pay that money back.
Wow. Okay, one of the most cited rules in the book, and I've seen this elsewhere too, is the 70-30 rule.
This is all about avoiding ad fatigue. 70% of your content should be organic, unpaid. Just you being you, sharing what you love. 30% can be sponsored.
And if you flip that ratio, if you're doing like 70% ads,
you turn into a walking catalog. And nobody wants to follow a catalog. Your engagement drops because the audience feels like they're constantly being sold to. And here's the great irony. When your engagement drops, the brands stop calling. So by trying to make more money with more ads, you actually destroy your ability to make any money at all.
And Hennessy also mentions that brands are watching your organic content just as closely as your sponsor stuff, if not closer.
Even closer. They want to see how you style the items you bought with your own money. That shows your true taste. If you look amazing in a sponsored dress, but you look sloppy in your own clothes, the brand knows you're just a mannequin for hire. They want partners who have genuine style, not just paid style.
Let's talk about video, YouTube, and stories, because you can't just hide behind a pretty filter anymore.
No, video is king. Static images are losing ground. Video builds a much deeper connection. But for YouTube specifically, Hennessy really highlights the importance of the channel trailer.
That's the video that autoplays when someone new visits your page.
Right. And it needs to be current. She tells a story about seeing trailers where the influencer is a blonde, but in all her recent videos, she's a brunette. It creates this weird cognitive dissonance. It feels like you're catfishing your own brand.
And what about speech habits? This is a tough one for a lot of people, myself included.
The ums, the likes, the you-knows. When you're speaking on behalf of a brand, you need to be articulate. Hennessy suggests this great exercise. Pick up a shampoo bottle or a cereal box. Read the description on the back out loud and record yourself doing it.
And then you have to listen to the playback. That's the hard part.
That's the painful part. If you sound like a bad late-night car commercial, or if you stumble every 3 words, you need practice. Brands need to know you can deliver a call to action clearly and confidently.
So if you put it all together, she lists these 4 specific content buckets that brands are actively hunting for when they audit someone's feed.
Right. If you want to get hired, your feed needs to prove you can do these 4 things. Number 1, photos of you. Can you show off styling, hair, makeup? Basically, can you model? 2, photos of your surroundings. Can you take a beautiful photo of a coffee shop or a sunset without you in it? Can you set a mood?
The atmosphere.
Exactly. Number 3, flat lays or bag spills. This is the product arranged nicely on a surface. Brands need to be able to envision their product in your world. And number 4, video. They need to know how you move and how you sound.
It's basically a full portfolio.
It is. And if you're missing one of those 4, you're missing out on potential revenue streams.
Okay, so we've built the digital house. We created the content. Now we need the people, the audience. Hennessy maps out this roadmap to 100K followers. And I really appreciated this because the strategy changes at every single level. You don't act the same way at 2,000 followers as you do at 50,000.
It's a totally different game at each stage.
Let's walk through them. Stage 0. 0 to about 2,500 followers.
This is the sandbox, the testing phase. It's mostly your friends and your family. You're figuring out your lighting, your filters, your voice. The stakes are really low, so this is the time to make your mistakes.
Okay, then stage 1. 2,500 to 5,000.
Okay.
She calls this the hashtag phase.
But notice the warning here. She says, don't hashtag too early. If you use hashtags when your content is still bad, you're just inviting strangers to come look at a mess. You need to wait until you're polished. And then you have to be specific. Don't use hashtag love or hashtag happy.
Why not? I mean, those have millions and millions of posts.
That's exactly why. Your post will be buried in a millisecond. Plus, those generic tags are just flooded with bots. You want to use niche tags like hashtag Chicago Foodie or hashtag Sustainable Denim. You want to find your people, not just all people.
Right. Okay, stage 2, 5,000 to 10,000, the like game.
This is just manual labor. There is no shortcut here. This is you for hours a day going out and engaging with other people's content to get on their radar. You have to give engagement to get engagement. It's a grind.
Stage 3 takes us up to 25,000. You're a micro-influencer now. You're getting onto watch lists. And then stage 4, from 25K to 50K. This is the collaboration phase.
This is where the squad comes in. And Hennessy makes a really poignant observation here about how lonely this job can be.
Yeah, she mentioned checking feeds and just wondering if these people live in solitary confinement.
Seriously, if every single photo is just you, alone, perfectly lit, staring off at the horizon, it's weird. It feels manufactured. You need to squad up. Collaboration helps you cross-pollinate your audiences. If you take a photo with a similar influencer, you get exposed to their followers, they get exposed to yours. Sezanne Hendricks is the example she uses. Her feed is full of friends, and it feels real.
It makes you look like an actual person with a life.
Plus, on a purely practical level, it's really hard to take good photos of yourself in public alone. You need a buddy to hold the camera.
That's very true. Finally, stage 5.
Yeah.
50,000 to 100,000. You're pitching brands. You're running contests. But she had a huge warning about the prize you give away.
Yes. The iPad trap.
Everybody wants an iPad.
And that is exactly the problem. If you run a giveaway for a free iPad, you will get thousands of new followers overnight. But they are not following you because they like your fashion sense or your travel writing. They are following you because they want a free iPad.
And the second the contest ends,
They unfollow. Or even worse, they stay, but they never engage with your content again, which drags down your overall engagement rate and hurts you with the algorithm. The advice is to give away something specific to your niche. If you're a beauty blogger, give away a specific lipstick. You want quality followers who care about your content, not just quantity.
that leads perfectly into community management, because once you have all these people, you have to actually talk to them.
The comments section is the lifeblood of your account. Hennessy says you should be asking questions in your captions to prompt replies. And when people reply, you have to answer them. You can't just be a broadcaster. You have to be a conversationalist.
But not everyone who comments is nice.
The haters, the trolls.
She cites a statistic from a specific hater website, she refuses to name it, where there are 8,000 posts praising influencers and 1.4 million posts hating on them.
The ratio of haterade is incredibly high. Her advice is very simple. Don't feed the trolls, just block and delete. She has this great line where she says, most haters are just fans who can't express themselves logically.
That's a very generous way to interpret it.
It is, but it probably preserves your sanity.
No, there is one cardinal sin in audience growth.
Yeah.
The one thing Hennessy says, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Buying followers.
It's so tempting, though. You spend $50 and suddenly your number goes up by 5,000. Instant credibility, right?
It is the kiss of death. It is the single fastest way to end your career before it even starts.
How do brands even know you've done it?
Oh, it's incredibly obvious to them. Brands use tools, like Social Blade is a common one. They can look at your growth chart over time. Real organic growth looks like a staircase, steady upward steps every day. Bot growth looks like a hockey stick, a flat line, and then a vertical line straight up. If you gain 30,000 followers on a Tuesday and you weren't on the national news, you bought them.
Yeah, once you're caught.
You're blacklisted permanently. No casting director will ever hire you because they know they would be paying for ghosts. You are selling them fake impressions. It's basically fraud.
She brings up the Instagram purge of 2014 as a major cautionary tale.
Oh, that was legendary in the industry. Instagram just decided one night to delete millions of bot and spam accounts. There was a rapper, May. He had something like 1.6 million followers. The morning after the purge, he woke up with roughly 200,000.
He lost 1.4 million followers in one day.
In one day. He deleted his entire Instagram account out of pure embarrassment. You do not want to be May. Build it slow, build it real.
So we've got the audience. Now we need to package it all up to actually sell it to brands. This is segment 5, the edge. And this comes down to metrics.
Engagement is the holy grail. It's more important than your follower count. The math is really simple. You add your likes and your comments on a post, then you divide that number by your total follower count.
And what's a good number? What's the benchmark?
Anything from 1.5% to 2.5% is considered pretty decent. Over 3% is excellent. If you have 1 million followers, but you only get 10 likes per photo, your engagement rate is near zero. brands won't touch you. They would much rather hire someone with 10,000 followers and super high engagement than a celebrity with a dead audience.
She also talks about ASL, age, sex, location of your audience. And there's a really counterintuitive point here about influencers who show a lot of skin.
This is such a crucial insight, especially for young women who are entering this space. Many influencers think, if I post a bikini shot, I get more likes. And they were right. They absolutely do.
So what's the problem? More likes is good, right?
Yeah. The problem is, who is doing the liking? Bikini shots tend to attract a heavily male audience. If you are trying to build a career as a fashion or beauty influencer, your target customers are almost always women.
So brands that are selling lipstick don't want to advertise to a bunch of thirsty guys.
Exactly. If a beauty brand pulls your audience demographics and sees that your followers are 85% male, they are not going to hire you. Unless you're trying to sell beer or men's razors, cultivating a thirsty male audience can actually ruin your business prospects. You have to curate the audience that buys what you eventually want to sell.
That is a massive strategic pivot for a lot of people. It's not just more followers, it's the right followers.
Correct. It's all about alignment.
Let's talk about skills on set. Because being an influencer means you're a model, a producer, and a director all at the same time.
Right. Posing is a technical skill. You need variety. You can't just do blue steel in every single photo, and you need to be able to take direction. She tells us one story about an influencer who refused to take off her sunglasses during an indoor photo shoot because she didn't like her eyes that day.
Oh, that sounds difficult.
It is. It might be insecurity, but on a professional set where a brand is paying thousands of dollars an hour, that insecurity is a liability. You have to be able to deliver the shot they're paying for.
And production value, this is a big one. If a brand pays you $5,000, you can't shoot the campaign in your bathroom.
This is the difference between an amateur and a pro. If you get a big budget, you need to reinvest it in the production. Rent a hotel room for the day. Hire a professional photographer. Buy props. The money is for the production, not just for your pocket. If you pocket all the cash and just deliver an iPhone selfie, you will never get hired again.
Okay, finally, let's talk about the press kit, the resume of the influencer world.
This is something that should live on your website. And you need 2 distinct pages. An about page for your readers, hi, I love coffee and my dog, and a dedicated partnership page for the brands.
What goes on the partnership page?
Your stats, your location, your availability for events. And Hennessy outlines this fictional ideal profile that includes things like your audience demographics. But she has a huge warning. Do not list competitor logos on that page.
Meaning don't put a giant Coke logo on your resume if you want Pepsi to hire you next month?
That's it exactly. It completely boxes you in. Instead, just have a link that goes to a category on your blog called Sponsored Posts. Let them do the digging if they want to, but don't advertise the competition on your own sales page.
And the contact page. She really hates contact forms.
I feel Hennessy's pain on this one. Contact forms, they strip all the formatting, they don't allow attachments, they are just a black hole where opportunities go to die. Just list your email address. Make it as easy as humanly possible for people to give you money.
It seems like that's a recurring theme through this entire book. Remove all the barriers.
Absolutely. Remove friction.
So after you've done all this, how do you actually get discovered? How do you get on the radar of someone like a Brittany Hennessy?
Well, you can wait to be found, or you can kind of hack the system. One great tip she gives is about blogger roundups. You know those articles, top 10 stylists to follow in Chicago?
Yeah, of course.
Write your own.
Wait, really? The self-made roundup?
Yes. Create a list of 10 bloggers to watch this year, put 9 other great people on it that you admire, and put yourself on it.
And a little pro tip from the book. Put yourself at the top of the list.
Because casting directors are busy. They might not scroll all the way to the bottom. If you are number 1 on the list, you are the first click.
That is hilarious and also kind of brilliant. It's so assertive.
It works.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway for me is just the massive shift in perspective. We look at Instagram and we see, effortless beauty, fun trips, cute dogs. But behind that curtain,
it is a grind. It is a full-fledged business. It requires deep technical know-how, SEO, WordPress analytics. It requires professional skills photography, video editing, contract negotiation. And it requires a really thick skin.
Hennessy's book really drives home that authenticity in this world is actually a product. It's a feeling that is produced, that is managed, and that is ultimately sold.
That's the central paradox of the whole industry. To be a successful influencer, you have to be authentic enough to build trust, But to scale that authenticity into a career, you have to professionalize it to the point where it becomes a managed asset.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. Hennessy points out that while we view these feeds as reality, they are in fact highly curated highlight reels, often produced by entire teams.
Right. We're all sitting here comparing our own personal blooper reels to their professionally produced highlight reels.
So the question for you listening is this. In a world where a dog can earn $32,000 for a tweet, and where being yourself requires professional lighting, a content calendar, and an editorial strategy, where is the line between a person and a brand?
And maybe more importantly, if you aren't the one who is actively branding yourself and telling your own story, who is telling it for you?